This is Dolany TV, and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel. Today on, well, we sit here and we're a day closer to figuring out who the general manager will become for the Edmonton Oilers, but at the same rate, we need a president of hockey operations and the whole shebang, but clearly nothing further as it stands. Yes, we've narrowed down the list according to Elliot Friedman, but for right now, we still sit on that pause button, hold on, wait kind of scenario. Down there in Bakersfield, they're doing excellent things, but more importantly, I don't know what I'm doing recording videos when I should be watching the debut of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in Toronto tonight. However, I watched his first at bat, a ground out to first base, so with that, let's get on to the Oilers discussion for today. A little preemptive, kind of get in before it's done kind of deal for the Oilers this year is the 5 reasons we should be better for next year, will be better for next year, whatever you want to say, because you can look at it a number of ways. The Oilers underachieved this season. Yes, the forward depth wasn't where it should be, but by no means were the expectations for the forward group to be as far apart as they were, right? The top end of the lineup to the bottom end of the lineup, 2 different sides of the spectrum when it comes to offensive scoring. So with that is where we start. Number 5 on my list is depth scoring shouldn't be as much of an issue next year. Honestly, to think about this, I'll go to the Oilers stats. This is something I haven't looked at in a while, and guys, damn, does it stand out. Of guys who played 45 games or more, the reason I have to bring it down to 45 is because, yes, Puljujarvi played more than half the season. Everybody's somehow pretty much magically forgotten about him, especially I know a lot of you guys, when you go to make your lineups that you've given me, you seem to have him out of there and then come back that you trade him, but you have nowhere someone we acquired in a trade, if you understand where I'm coming from. So it just seems he's the forgotten man right now. Only 9 points, a minus 14. Obviously, there's a lot more we should be getting out of Jesse Puljujarvi. Again, there's the key word for this video, guys. Should. The Oilers should be better next year, even just based on depth scoring not being an issue. So you go up and down the lineup here, and this is where I'm going to crank through. Tobias Rieder, 11 points in 67 games. Obviously, you can't say it's all Toby's fault. Toby, honestly, throughout his career has never been more than a third-line winger, in my opinion, and we expected him to be a high-scoring second-line winger. If that ain't the most Edmonton Oilers convoluted thing in the world, I don't know what is, honestly. So, to blame Toby Rieder, guys, we don't need to get on that train, but you know where I'm going. And then you've got Ty Rattie. This is where I really get upset about the whole blame Toby Rieder thing. You have a guy that was expected to do so much, expected to be your top-line right winger all year, and pretty much, he got injured 3 or 4 games into the year, and that was it. That was it for the year for Ty Rattie. He had a couple of flashes where he got a couple of points in a couple of games, and that was really it for Ty Rattie. See, now I'm confusing myself because my cat is scratching on the door, and it sounds like somebody's scraping lasagna out of the pan in the kitchen. I've had that comment before. Chris Russell, again, guys, this is where I really get into the heart of the issue with the depth scoring problem. The depth scoring was not just a forwards issue this year. Chris Russell, 16 points in 72 games for your second line defender. Okay, get this. When you compare, in my estimation of the Oilers lineup this year, you have Klefbom, Nurse, Larson, Russell. Russell, as a second pair defender, has to be getting at least 25 to 30 points, and in 72 games only had 16. Even in 72, you got to be hitting 20 if you're on that second line defense, but that's been an issue with the Edmonton Oilers defense for years. Zap! Quit! Zap! Quit! 17 points for Matt Benning. Again, Matt Benning really did well getting the points on the board and getting the plus-minus going, but the defense for him did not do him any favors, and that definitely devastated us a lot of games in the early part of the season. Then you've got Jujhar Khaira, 60 games played. We expected him to step up. He did, but 18 points in 60 games, really, for a guy who played a lot of time on the second line, a lot of time on the third line, you still, even if you're a third line guy, in my estimation, you have to be getting 25, 30 points. And there we go. Jujhar Khaira through 60 games only at 18. So maybe on pace for that low end 25. But tough go, boys. Tough go. Obviously, we don't need to go here. Adam Larsson plays all 82 games, a minus 28, 20 points. And then you've got Zach Kassian, 26 points, 79 games played. Hey, that was a step up. We got good production out of him. Milan Lucic, 20 points. Don't need to rehash that horse. And then we get to the top guns, and we don't need to go over that because we've gotten over that, and I've already gotten distracted. Again, the whole point being, there's no way it craps the bed that much again when we've got a new crop of guys in, because you sit here and you think about the guys that played some limited time. Joe Gambardella, Josh Curry, obviously Kyler Yamamoto, Jesse Puljujärvi should be better next year. There's a bunch of guys. Evan Bouchard, who played, 7 games. All these guys should come up and add so much to the lineup. Okay, there we go. Typical Oilers fan expecting the kids to step up. Guys, these are kids who have seasoned in the AHL for a couple of years or a year at least. And, I mean, Tyler Benson has seasoned in the CHL all the way through. Now he's in the AHL absolutely succeeding, not so much in the playoffs, but you know what I mean. And Evan Bouchard is the OHL Defenseman of the Year, sleepwalking. Literally what you guys have called sleepwalking through the regular season. So don't kid yourself. The guy is an absolute beast. And then, you had a guy like Caleb Jones, who we saw the promise and potential, same as we did with Ethan Bear. You add William Legis into the recipe. There's a lot to be done. Obviously, more needs to be done to add those guys to the lineup. We'll get to that in a minute. Because first, that's number 4 is the young guns. Number 3, before we get to number 2, which is that next point about changing the lineup, is the fact that somebody is going to be the head coach of the Oilers next year. Is it going to be Ken Hitchcock, or is it going to be somebody else? Well, sit here and rationale with me that no matter who the head coach of the Oilers is next year, they know the situation. Obviously, hold on. If Bob Nicholson is allowed to hire the head coach, maybe he doesn't. Okay, now we've moved on. The head coach, when he comes in, should know the situation. Should. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Should know the situation based on one thing. You were able to watch the absolute collapse of a roster over the span of a year. You went from the Oilers that opened up in Sweden to the Oilers that closed out in Calgary. Okay? So you closed the year on a loss, or you opened the year on a loss, closed the year on a win, and closed the year April 6th. A new coach or Ken Hitchcock can look, review, see what's left, see what's used, see what's in the room, and have a camp to set tempo and set style and get the job rolling from day one. Honestly, my opinion, I don't think Todd McLellan really had his Oilers ready to go to start the season because, again, like I said, the roster was flawed up front to start last year. We were betting on Kyler Yamamoto, Jesse Puljujärvi, and Ty Rattie. Absolutely failed, and what do you do? But a new head coach should be able to evaluate the talent a little bit better than we did last year, and hopefully, to my next point, point number 2, a new GM can come in, make some moves necessary to getting better, and you know what? All it takes is half a friggin' brain. It's a no-brainer what makes this team better. Obviously, what do you not do is trade the high-end talent. When you're talking high-end talent, you're talking Bouchard, Samorukov, Benson. You're talking anybody on the farm. You're talking, of course, a guy in net like Shane Starrett. Guys, like, seriously, there's too many guys to talk. But you need to sit here and evaluate one thing. The high-end talent, that's the guys on the farm. I don't count Kyler Yamamoto and Jesse Puljujärvi as guys on the farm. They are guys that were forced into the lineup young, guys that still have promise, guys that have NHL experience and have NHL caliber talent, but are they going to be useful in the Oilers lineup, or are they more useful as a trade chip to get that talent we need? That's the question. That is the absolute question right now. And all it takes is half a brain to make a plan and get the job done. Easy as that. Honestly, what do you do? What do? You make a move. How do you make a move? Not my decision, not our decision. It's a new general manager's decision, and hopefully he's got more brains than Peter Chiarelli. And actually, for once, outside of the Keith Gretzky salary dump for Talbot for Stallers and the absolute beauty move to relieve ourselves of Ryan Spooner in trade of Sam Gagner, well, guys, right there, if we can get somebody who can pull some of those greasier moves like Keith Gretzky did towards the deadline, we should be fine and dandy. Swindle someone into Milan Lucic. Absolutely swindle him. Come on now. It shouldn't be that hard. It's hockey's a business. That's what they always say. And yeah, I'm going to be honest. You got to grease it in business sometimes, don't you? But again, not our decision. And is it possible? Probably not, but we can dream. So that's number 2. Now, obviously, if I'm talking about a new GM being a number 2 item on a 5-tier list of why the Oilers should be better next year, what the heck could I possibly think is going to make this team so much better if you have 2 through 5 and yet there's something outstanding? Number 1 on my list of the reasons why the Oilers should be better next year, you combine 2 through 5, and you have still on the roster for the foreseeable future, Toronto media, butt the heck out of the conversation. You're not a part of it on this one. You have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl for the foreseeable future. Okay, what does that mean? That means, you know what, they have down years. You know what, they're still exceptional years. You talk about Leon Draisaitl dropping 30 points off of this year's total down to 75. Guys, compared to what everybody was freaking out at the start of the year about Leon Draisaitl, 75 consistently out of Draisaitl is A++. 105, A++, infinity, whatever, all good. Anything over 100, holy crap. But 75 plus points a year out of Leon Draisaitl, good, dandy, gold, great. We are not complaining there. And even if McDavid has a 90 or 85 plus point season, guys, that is nothing to laugh at. We've seen Sidney Crosby have less points in a season and still great things happen. It's all about 2 through 5 and our big guns still for a good margin being our big guns. That's 5 great reasons why the Oilers should, will, could, might, maybe be better next year. Guys, I'm fired up. I don't know why I got so fired up. I've had a tough day. A lot of mental math, and it feels good to rant about the Oilers after not doing it yesterday. I'm Tyson, this Stolen TV. What do you think? Are you going to argue with me? Get in the chat. Let's go in the comments. I'm looking forward to see what you guys have to say. As always, Tyson, Stolen TV, out of here.